Welcome to the Trail Running Briefing, the podcast for trail runners who want to understand their training and run better. Each week, one clear idea to help you train smarter, stay durable, and perform when it matters. Episode 25: Carb loading. Don't start empty. Carb loading is one of those things every runner has heard about, but many still get wrong. For some, it means a huge bowl of pasta the night before the race. For others, it means eating more of everything and hoping for the best. And some runners avoid it completely because they feel heavy, bloated, or worried about gaining weight before race day. But carb loading is not about stuffing yourself. It's about starting the race with full fuel tanks. In an ultra, you are already going to burn through energy. The question is simple: do you arrive at the start line top up or already half empty? The core idea of carb loading is simple. Your body stores carbohydrate as glycogen in the muscles and liver. Think of glycogen as your readily available race fuel. Fat stores are huge, but they are slower to access. Glycogen is faster. It helps you climb, run, concentrate, regulate effort, and respond when the race starts to bite. In trail and ultra running, we often talk about fueling during the race. Gels, drinks, bars, rice balls, potatoes, whatever works for you. And yes, race day fueling matters, but there is a mistake many runners make. They focus only on what they will eat during the race and forget the fuel they need to store before the race even starts. You cannot fully compensate during the race for arriving underfueled. Carb loading is not magic. It will not make up for poor training. It will not make you immune to pacing mistakes. And it doesn't mean you can ignore fueling during the race. But it gives you a better starting point. The practical target most endurance runners should understand is this. For long races, especially anything over 90 minutes, carbohydrate intake should increase significantly in the final day or two before the event. For ultras, a useful range is often around 8 and 12 grams of carbohydrate per kilogram of body weight per day. Depending on the race, the runner, gut tolerance, and how aggressive the strategy needs to be. For a 30 kilogram runner, that could mean roughly 560 to 840 grams of carbohydrate per day during the loading phase. That sounds like a lot because it is a lot. This is why carb loading cannot just be left to dinner the night before. A massive plate of pasta on Friday night is not a strategy. It's just one meal. The better approach is to spread carbohydrate across the whole day. Breakfast, snacks, lunch, afternoon snack, dinner, and maybe a drink-based option as well. Rice, pasta, potatoes, bread, bagels, pancakes, cereals, bananas, jam, honey, fruit juice, sport drinks, and low fiber carbohydrate foods can all have a place. And this is where many ultra runners get it wrong. They try to carb load with their normal healthy diet. Huge salads, beans, lentils, whole grains, lot of vegetables, nuts or seeds. Those foods can be excellent in normal training, but in the final 24 to 48 hours before a race, they can make the gut heavy and irritated. Before a long race, the priority changes. You are not trying to win a nutrition award. You are trying to arrive fueled, comfortable, and ready to run. That often means reducing fiber a little, keeping fat moderate, keeping protein normal but not excessive, and choosing foods you know digest well. Carb loading should feel boring, familiar, and controlled. Another thing runners misunderstand is the slight increase in body weight. When you store glycogen, you also store water with it. So yes, you may feel a little bit heavier. That's not fat gain. That is store fuel and fluid. For a ultra, that is usually a good thing. The goal is not to feel light and empty on the start line. The goal is to feel calm, fueled, and stable. So what should you actually do? First, practice carb loading before a key long run or a lower priority race. Don't test it for the first time before your A race. Second, choose a target. For many runners, starting around 8 grams per kilogram per day is more realistic than jumping straight to 12. If you tolerate it well and the race is long, hard, mountainous, or very demanding, you can move higher. Third, distribute the carbohydrate. Don't rely on one giant meal. Use frequent meals and snacks. Fourth, make it gut friendly. Reduce very high fiber foods. Avoid new foods and don't suddenly overload fat, cheese, sauce, or alcohol. Fifth, remember that carb loading and race fueling work together. You still need to eat during the race. Carb loading fills the tank. Race fueling keeps topping up. In real training, this is something you should rehearse exactly like poles, shoes, head torch, pacing, and hydration. Carb loading is not an extra. It is part of race preparation. To conclude, don't carb load by eating one huge meal the night before. Carb load by building a simple, familiar, high carbohydrate rhythm across the final 24 to 48 hours. The best carb load is not dramatic. It is boring, planned. It is practiced. You should not arrive at the start line feeling stuffed. You should arrive feeling top up. So before your next ultra, ask yourself this. Have I fueled the race before the race has even started? Because in endurance running, you don't want to spend the first half of the race borrowing energy from the second half. That's 2 days trail running briefing. Understand your training, apply it on the trail, and run better.